Yo, what's up? It's Ashley Purdy.
This is CC.
And we're Black Veil Brides, and we're kicking it with 8747 Productions.
What's up, everybody? It's Big Brian here, 8747 Productions, and we are kicking it with a couple of guys here from Black Veil Brides. We got Ashley and Christian, so it's awesome to have you guys out here. Thanks for coming to Salt Lake City, by the way, because sometimes we get missed in the tour routing.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. The last time we were here, we missed the show. We didn't even play, so...
Well, it's happens.
Yeah, the last time we were here, that's when we were filming the Fallen Angels video. So we flew to LA to fly back here. We missed some flights and the whole thing. So now we just flew here from Mexico. It was kind of weird that we always fly into Salt Lake City to play shows.
Yeah, and it's like, it works. You don't have to drive through the, the desert and all that fun stuff. So, well, you guys are just off the recent release of Wretched and Divine, which is a fantastic album.
Appreciate it.
Listened to it multiple times, kind of gone through the ringer, watched the DVD.
The ringer?
Gone through the ringer.
Put you through the ringer? The whole the journey and the adventure and everything?
I like it. No, it's a good album. So, I teach up at Utah Valley University here in Utah. Okay. So we like to kind of delve into a little bit of the audio engineering side, some of the production side of things with you guys. So talk about, first of all, preparation, because everyone thinks you can go in the studio and everything happens magically. But talk about the preparation you guys have to put forth before you go in the studio.
Well, going into this record anyhow, because it was a conceptual record, and so we had the idea and the story first. And going into it this time, we went more with the storyline and doing melody and sort of the concept and the lyric first. Usually we would go in and the guitar players would have a lot of ideas already instrumentally, but this time it's sort of the opposite way around. We went in more seeing what the story's going to be and thinking about lyric and melody first. So that's sort of how that happened before we went in and started doing anything instrumentation, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. There was a couple demos, obviously, in addition to everything that he said, a couple demos of certain songs that were made. Some of the songs actually were created completely in the studio, but not all of them, of course, because we had some, ideas before that. So, and then big group of 30 songs on the marker board. We picked the best ones, and that's the record.
That's how we were starting. We had a group of songs, and even with the concept, we were thinking it was going to be a release of a couple records, a couple albums, and maybe we wanted to do something even grander and have maybe 30 songs on it. 19's enough, and 19's enough tracks already.
Right.
But I don't know. It was a huge process. It was adventurous for us that we really liked to do, and we had a lot of. Experimentation, I guess, in new instruments as well and stuff. There's a lot of stringed instruments that we played. A lot of people think that is all computerized stuff that happens, but it's all authentic instruments that have been played on the record. And the production side of things it's more, I guess, more organic in the sense it wasn't so tuning stuff and doing weird stuff that other bands kind of do. I don't know. We scored a lot of the stuff that you hear on the record as well. I don't know.
It was a bit more of a process.
Yeah,
probably,
it's a lot more process than it was.
Set the world on fire. You probably just went in, shred everything up, right? Tear things up on the drum and bass, and you guys kind of okay, cool, let's go, right?
Yeah,
this
we
time,
had an idea of already what we wanted. That was kind of more straightforward. This was a little bit more grandeur in what we wanted, so I don't know. It just pushed boundaries for us individually as, musicians and then as a band.
Yeah, talk about, real quick, chasing tone, drums. I know people, will chase tone for a million years. Same thing, bass. I think any musician's going to have that chasing the tone. So talk about chasing the tone in the studio and actually getting it to translate, on the record.
It actually wasn't that difficult for drums. Normally it takes a full day to get drum tones. The kit I was using was great. It wasn't that hard. As far as guitar tones, the majority of guitar tones were done outside of the studio, believe it or not. And we had some special equipment that Jake and Jinx both purchased, right before recording this record. And so they got the perfect guitar tone, and then made it actually a very unique process doing this record because we would do it a majority of it through email. So we would send them an email, add guitar parts, we need a guitar solo here, we need this. So, with just the improvement in technology, as far as musical equipment goes, you can do a guitar, we did guitar solos from the house, or Jake and Jinx did, and did, guitar leads and, whatever, rhythm parts, all from the house, they didn't even have to be in there, so we didn't have to get, the $1,000 microphones on the cab. What we did
this time, we have a Kemper profiling system that we're using now, and it profiles a lot of different amps, so we would go through and figure out, and what you're saying, for each song, what sort of the feeling is to get the tone for on all the guitars, whether it's guitar or bass, whatever, get the tone for that individual song as well. But we use different heads, we did different instrumentation and stuff like that just by the profiling system.
Yeah, definitely. What about for bass? Because I mean, I don't know if the Kemper is as a bass as well.
No, not
or did you
at
use
all.
your own
There's
rig,
a lot
or?
of different plugins and different things that we use for the bass to get the right tone
You
for
go
that
DI?
kind of stuff. Yeah.
DI? Yeah, that's cool.
And that's how I'm playing live now too. So.
Yeah, you just let them
Yeah.
sculpt your sound
Yeah,
at the board.
exactly,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely great because I know a lot of people think.
Well, I'm
you have
always
to
so
have this,
picky
that.
about it because I would, like earlier, I'd be so pissed off when I'm playing live, and because the tone that I hear in my in-ears would just irritate me, where I would smash my basses. I smashed my bass before in like the second or third song in because I was so frustrated with the sound. So now it's controlled by exactly what I want to hear and what I want to, have in the front of the house. So
Yeah, it's the same thing with guitars. We're using the Kempers live, and so the actual model that is being profiled is going through a $400,000-$500,000 board with $1,000 microphones and everything, instead of just slapping like 57 or 58 or whatever microphone on the cab for live. And so we definitely we're all in. So we apologize for anybody who stands side stage because you won't hear anything but drums. But you know what? That's I'm stoked about that. But besides
Yeah, I know,
that,
that's cool.
it gets so much like control now. Even our live sound now, there's no cabs, nothing's mic'd up, and so there's no hum, buzz, white noise, all this kind of weird stuff, And so our sound is like way tighter than we've ever been as a live band right now.
A lot of bands are doing that. I mean, we've talked with a lot of bands. They're sending it into fractal audio systems and DI straight out to the desk, and it really improves the overall sound quality, which is cool.
Yeah, I think so as a band as well. We perform, we play a lot tighter and stuff, and it's a lot cleaner. We have our own mix in our ears, and I don't know, the audience is going to get a way better live show than we've ever did before. So it's cool.
Definitely cool. Yeah. Go over to Christian for a minute here with the drums again. How different is your setup live than what it was in studio? Different heads, different shells, everything?
It's actually exactly the same. The heads might be different. Obviously they're. I think I'm going clear, whereas in the studio I have some coated. Evans either G2s or EC2 coated. I do it using the Evans G2 Live. Just brings it out. It's a lot sharper and crisper for attack. But as far as the drums and cymbal placements, everything's exactly the same. So
yeah. And how about for bass? You're going DI, but what about your actual physical bass? Are you using the same stuff in the studio you use out here? Do you have
a wide variety of different basses that were used for that, whether it's like the pickups and then different like tone from each bass itself. So
I think that's
just
the
whatever
one thing
fit.
I want someone to say is we didn't use the same bass and the same tone for every song.
No,
you get a lot of bands, they come through, they want to record, and they're like,
maybe they don't know. It's just like being, I guess, adventurous. Some people just like, oh, here's my guitar that I bought at Guitar Center, and I'm gonna play it live and I'm gonna record with it too. It's like, I don't know, we don't do that. We use different instrumentation, and even like drums for the studio or guitars for the studio or whatever fits each song, and I don't know. We take our time. We put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into
it. Definitely reflects on the sound. At first I was like hyped up, and I thought we were probably going to get a little bit more of like a Set the World on Fire type album, and then it was this, and it had to absorb a little bit, and then once I got the concept of it, it's an amazing album. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you for actually listening. So a lot of people don't listen; they listen with their eyes first, and now
I'll definitely
I think
take a listen.
Yeah, I
to
think
it.
this time around people are actually listening with their ears, and it's really cool.
You guys changed your image too. So I know a lot of people are like. I've heard, people say, "Oh yeah, they're probably like goth music," and I'm like, "You need to listen to them."
Yeah.
Nobody knows. It's good because it sparks interest, but it's terrible because they don't actually hear the product. And so, I think it's toning down the makeup and, doing this concept record. I think a lot more people were like, wait, that's the same band, and it's so weird. But
what the weirdest thing is that we read, because we read all of our social networking stuff, and before we were dismissed as like, oh, that's a Kiss or a Mötley Crüe, and then now with this record, people are like, oh, they're like Nickelback. We're like, can you make up your minds what you guys think that we are?
I think the good bands, I think they always get picked on.
Yeah, and that's just internet critics, like stupid people, whatever. It's like, but
well, the best thing about that is it compares to all greatly successful bands.
Dude,
everybody talking shit. Excuse my French, but it's like they wish they could be in a band as huge as Mötley Crüe, Nickelback, or Kiss.
Definitely.
Who cares? We're we're ourselves. Obviously, we have certain influences, but everyone's so quick to compare somebody else to somebody else. We're just grateful they're comparing us to hugely widely successful bands.
Yeah, and this record to me, it's like that people don't understand when they try to like play us off as like a Mötley Crüe or something just because of our image, is that this record more to us is more like, I guess, like a Green Day or something, or a My Chemical Romance. I mean, I don't think people like look at it in that light, where this is more like a rock opera and sort of thing, something that's like a grander scope of things and just musicality and stuff and theatrics. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, congratulations once again. I think it's, I mean, you guys, I think, in my mind, you're successful before, but I think this is going to get you out to a broader audience, and people say sell out, whatever, screw them, because expanding yourself as a musician, I don't think is ever selling out.
Correct.
You're doing what you love, so that's
yeah,
first
we want
and
people to hear our
foremost.
music around the world. A lot of people haven't yet, and they're starting to now, because now we're getting like regular radio play on active rock radio stations now, which we haven't had before, and I don't know, on Sirius as well. Like Octane and stuff are playing us. We're high on the charts there, and I don't know.
Oh, it's great. Just one last question as we kind of wrap this interview up. Just if you had any advice for students, for people trying to make it in a band, what would you guys say to them?
I would say take it to the next level. I mean, you just gotta do something that somebody else hasn't done before. Try to find your own niche, and it's definitely a lot of hard work, and be prepared to struggle to make your dreams come true.
Yeah, I would say just keep practicing no matter what it is you do, and don't be scared, and I don't know, just be adventurous and have ambition and passion for what you do. And once you have passion, I mean, you can go anywhere and do anything you want. So.
Cool. Yeah. No. Thanks again. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Once again, Big Brian here, 8747 Productions, signing out with the Black Veil Brides.
Peace.
I believe that we all fall down sometimes. Yeah.